Sam's back in the studio with us. Hi again, Sam.
You all right? Yeah, got some nice potential matchups here. Should we get cracking?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, yes, it's transfer Tinder, and obviously we have full control whether these transfers go ahead. It's a swipe right if you like it and a swipe left if you don't. So we're going to start with Eberechi as a 27, 5'8" from London. He's hoping to be the king of someone else's palace after 5 years in South London. Perfect for someone who doesn't mind a little bit of dribbling and seems to have set his distance slider a few miles. No more so than staying in the capital where his heart is, and he's hoping that the Gunners aren't firing blanks and he can head back to his childhood sweetheart. So, Eze to Arsenal for 67 million. Are you swiping right or left?
Oh, look, he's a lovely footballer. A lovely footballer. I mean, Alan, you'll know more than I do about him. Is he a priority for Arsenal?
Well, obviously, I think he has the attributes to be an Arsenal player. I mean, he has such diversity in his play. He can play off the left, he can play through the middle, so he gives them good options. I think it's a possible one, definitely, in my opinion.
Oh, nice. So you're swiping right?
Yeah, well, you know, I'd swipe right as well because I think pretty much any team in the land would take Eberechi as it.
Yeah, I think he's a nice match for anyone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. It's a match. Righto, next one. Johan Wissa, 28, 5'7", London. Well, this bee's on the lookout for some fresh nectar. Bear with me on these bees puns, by the way. And a new queen has already tried to turn his head, promising some expensive gifts. Also to note as well, his potential new northern lover has already suffered so many heartbreaks. And this summer, they are desperate to finally find the one. So, Wissa to Newcastle for £25 million. Should he be the one to finally say yes and start a relationship with the Toon?
25 million. It's a bargain in this day and age, isn't it?
Well, I would say so. I can't see that one. I don't see where he fits in. I don't think he's a replacement for Isaac. Whether he's the backup, would Wissa want to be a backup?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No, nor me.
But he does seem to want to leave Brentford. I mean, I think that's the thing at the moment. And when he looks at the fact that his mate's gone, you know, Brian Mbeumo's gone, would probably
and other players in the past. But, you know, I can't see that one.
Is this movement from Newcastle a little bit of a panic stations if Isak is to go? Are they kind of trying to line someone or something up?
Yeah, I think they're probably trying to give their fan base some good news. I mean, you know, obviously, if you're a Newcastle fan, it hasn't been the greatest of summers in terms of, you know, looking at the transfer market. They have the cup in the bag. You know, this should all be positive, really, for Newcastle this season. I don't see Wissa as a positive, if I'm honest, to go. I just can't see him starting in the team. And I think if I was Wissa, I wouldn't make that move.
Okay. Look, I think he'd be a good buy for someone. That is for sure. And at that price, bit of a steal. I know he's 28, but, you know, ready-made package. We know he can do it in the Premier League. I'm just not sure that Newcastle are the right club, so I would swipe left.
Yeah, 2 swipe lefts then. A little bit of desperation maybe from Newcastle. Missed out on 7 potential transfer targets so far, so unfortunately, it's a no. Okay, last one up next. Alejandro Ganacho, 21, 5'8", currently resides in Manchester. He's in the process of a messy divorce. He's been forced out of the house and told to find love elsewhere. This one comes with some baggage, though, and this Argentine is already sending flirty texts to his new match, but has so far been ghosted. Both know what that is? Ghosted?
Yeah.
Ghosted?
I know what ghosted means, yeah.
Hope that's not speaking from experience, lads. We all know it takes 2 to tango. So Garnacho to Chelsea for 40 million. Are you swiping left or right?
I'd question whether they need Alessandro Ganacho. I think he's a good player, you know.
I think Chelsea's model, he works. Chelsea's model, buy young, you know, and then, you know, when you buy so many players that they don't even get a chance to devalue, they kind of just sit there at value that they're at. So, and he has qualities. I mean, how much disruption that boy causes in the dressing room, I don't know. He's definitely part of that group. That would worry me, but
it's a bit of a red flag, isn't it?
Yeah,
relationships.
Well, of course,
because he's not guaranteed to start at Chelsea.
I don't actually think Chelsea's environment's particularly brilliant, actually. So I would say swipe left. Left is no, isn't
left
it?
Is no.
Left is no.
So you
left for me.
No.
Look, if I'm Manchester United, I'm trying to get Alessandro Ganacho to stay and prove his value at Old Trafford, because I think he's a good player. I think he'd be positive on the playing front. But, as you were saying, Pards, I don't know what he's like in terms of his influence around the club. But, you know, he's a young man. He shouldn't have too much influence around the club, for goodness sake. So, but as far as a move to Chelsea goes, I'd be swiping left.
Swipe left. Can I ask as well, adding on that, as a manager, sort of Amarin has explicitly told him to leave.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced anything like that? Have you ever had to be as explicit as that to not work with a player?
When I was at Reading, Tommy Burns come in. He signed about 10 players on deadline day, and he put one little group to the side. I was reserve team manager, so I actually took them. I took what is effectively the bomb squad. It was really difficult. It causes a lot of disruption because the actual players who are there see that as a possible that could happen to them, so they have a lot of sympathy for those players. So there's a real kind of weird feeling around it. I've never really isolated a player. I've wanted players to move on and made it pretty clear that they need to move on. You know, you have to be as adamant as that to get it in someone's mind to work to get away. But it creates a real tension around the training camp, as you can imagine.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Well, there we go. Ganacho, let's see.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
One we didn't mention there, but John on the Railway has just mentioned it by text. John on the Railway says Nathan Lowe to Stockport is a bigger transfer than Isak to Liverpool. Give us some love, Jeff. Well, you've got some love from me, that's for sure. Dave Challoner thinks he's a good player. That'll do for me.
Yeah.
But I would honestly, John on the Railway, argue about whether it's a bigger transfer than Isak to Liverpool.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.